Well, five sitting Democrats have lost their seats this year, and it wasn't to Republicans. It was to their own party. Three more primary seats flipped overnight to a socialist wing that's just getting started. And two men who are supposed to be running the Democratic Party right now are nowhere. Not a word. Donald Trump is calling them godless communists. James Carville, the top Democratic strategist alive, wants nothing to do with them. And John Fetterman, one of the most vocal and reasonable senators, is telling them out loud to cry harder. This is Zohran Mamdani's socialist wing of the Democratic Party, and it is quietly causing an internal implosion just in time for the midterms. Folks, by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why the mayor of one city is running this party into the ground, while the people who are in charge, well, they're nowhere to be found.
Communists, they're godless communists. All communists are godless.
Now, I don't think any of us would argue with that sentiment, but the Democrats are taking the easy way out here. They're trying to wave this off like Trump is just being Trump, except the numbers say that he's describing something that's very real. 3 Democratic primary seats flipped to 2 socialists in a single night. 2 sitting incumbent congressmen were wiped out, and over 100 House Democrats just voted against sending aid to Israel. Now, that's not a fringe faction anymore. It's a takeover in progress. And the man swinging hardest against this movement is a Democrat. Now, the funny thing here is that John Fetterman used to be one of the biggest concerns that we had in the Republican Party. I mean, the guy seemed to be a little bit off his rocker. But now, if you listen to him, he may be the most reasonable. And this is a pattern that Fetterman has had for the past 12 months or so. And that tweet, he didn't just go after the Democratic Socialist of America. He tagged their account directly. And honestly, I kind of think it's a work of art. But if you think that's wild, Fetterman isn't the only one who's sounding the alarm on the rise of communism from the left. James Carville, the man who put Bill Clinton in the White House. Well, listen to what he had to say.
Relationships in the American flag. Lady, I ain't in the same party as you. I'm sorry. I just not. And I actually do think it's time for Democrats to talk the S word, schism. I really do. Everybody's always said, no, we're coalition, we're big tent. And there's just.
Now, if you were to ask anybody who's been following politics for some time whether Carville would be in on an inside the party fight, they'd call you crazy. But he's all in. I mean, he wants to be the sensible left. That's even crazier. Folks, he's not looking for a marriage. He doesn't even want a date. I mean, he doesn't even want a one-night stand. This dude wants a divorce. Okay? Now, you all know who the face of this takeover is, right? Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City. Not a candidate, not an activist. He's the mayor of the largest city in America. And this guy doesn't hide the ball. Okay? Did you watch his inaugural speech? I mean, I didn't either, but it's worth a listen.
Apology for what we believe. I was elected as a democratic socialist, and I will govern as a democratic socialist.
Yeah, he called it a mandate, and he's doing exactly what he said. He's frozen rent. He's frozen everything that small business owners and entrepreneurs rely on in the city of New York. He's giving away free bus rides, free child care, and a fat new tax on the wealthy, all to pay for it. How's that going? Well, the millionaires are packing up and leaving New York, and the city's staring down billions in lost revenue. And Mamdani's no fluke, okay? Every candidate he's backed in a federal election has run the table. He's taken out 2-term congressmen. He's taken out 5-term incumbents that were backed by party leadership. And there's no sign of him and his movement slowing down. If anything, they're getting broader and sharpening their strategy. And it's all happening as we get closer to the midterms. But you have to watch what Fetterman does next, because he's one of the few that are standing up and drawing the line, a line that Democrats almost never draw.
To do that, you make that official. You make that part of our platform. That's my red line in the Democratic Party.
The red line. Okay. He said that the day that the party officially goes anti-Israel. That's the day he's out. Calls himself the last man standing in the caucus who will back Israel without apologizing for it. And it's already costing him. Okay. The guy's lost 2 of his top staffers for breaking ranks. So while Fetterman's out swinging and Carville's begging for a divorce, ask yourself the obvious question. Where is the actual leadership of this party? Where's Hakeem Jeffries, Timu Obama? Where's Chucky Schumer? And think about how backwards this really is, folks. Zohran Mamdani is a mayor of one city. Okay, on paper, he has nothing to do with who runs Congress. He has nothing to do with where the national party goes. He should be worried about the subway, the rats, and the potholes. And yet he's the most powerful force in the Democratic Party right now, picking off incumbents, setting the agenda, dragging the whole left through this, while the men who actually are supposed to be leading it are absent. When the mayor of New York is driving the DNC, what does that tell you about who's not? Because Jeffries just sat there and watched these socialists knock off his hand-picked incumbents firsthand. 5 sitting House seats, sitting members, gone. The commies. And now the socialists are eyeing Jeffries' own seat, and they're already talking about AOC coming for Chuck Schumer. And yet, you don't hear anything from them. Nothing. Because they won't take a side. They won't pick a lane. They're watching their own party get taken out from under them in real time. And they're quietly hoping that nobody notices. But here's the good news in all of this. And this is the part that should matter for you and I. Even the guys running the House see exactly what's coming. And they're preparing a plan to capitalize on it.
In our promises, we have better candidates than the Democrats do. They are on the verge of an open civil war because the establishment Democrats are being pushed out by the Marxists. They're having a lot of disarray on their side, and that will play to our advantage in the midterms. We have, for the first time in 10 years, my friends, we have a slight fundraising advantage over the...
Yeah. He goes on to talk about the fundraising advantage. And that's true, too. It's true because Democrats who typically donate are looking at these crazies and saying, why the hell should I give money? Why? They're not going to win. How could they win? They're crazy. But Speaker Johnson's right. If this keeps going the way it's going, Democrats are walking into the midterms as a party at war with itself. And that's exactly how Republicans will clean house. Yeah, this civil war could end up being the single biggest reason that we take back everything that's on the table in November. But, and this is the whole ball game. That only happens if we show up to vote. Like I said yesterday in a long video that I did, we have to show up. If we actually get out and vote, I think the infighting is going to set the table. But we're the ones who are going to have to finish it. So I'm curious to see what Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are going to do next, because right now they've got no answer. The socialists are doubled down. Carville sounds like he wants out, and they need him. Fetterman, he's deciding whether he's the last man standing or the first one out the door. And again, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, they're in charge. And they're gone. Nowhere to be found. Now, folks, if you want to keep tracking this Democratic Civil War all the way to the midterms, I hope you subscribe. Stick with us, okay? Because we're going to be following this till November. And let me know what you think in the comments. I know we all get a rise out of this. Communists will never exist in the United States. We'll never allow it. But The Democratic Party's implosion is a sight to see. It's absolutely a sight to see. And if you notice, all of them are just angry. All the constituents that are on social media and try to engage in dialogue, they're just angry. 100% angry. That's because they're following a party with no platform, no message, no core ideology. It's all in flux. It's in flux because leadership, they have none. And look, we have similar issues on occasion here in this party where our elected officials, our leadership, if you will, promises us things and they never deliver. That's what Democrats are experiencing. But unlike us, they are truly living up to the names that they call us. Yeah. An insurrection within the left. And love to see it. All right. It's Friday. Have a great day. And if I don't see you again, have a good weekend.